We spent the day at Tech Talent North Toronto, which was organized by TAP Network that took place last month on October 24th. I sat down with many HR leaders in the Canadian tech space to talk to them about what they're thinking about and focusing on in their work. Here is what they had to say. Check it out. So I'm Jeff Waldman, the host of the Unmuted podcast. We're here today, all day today, at the Tech Talent North conference in downtown Toronto. It's October 24th. 2023, and I've been meeting with HR leaders, talent leaders, speakers, thought leaders, vendors, everyone today, just talking about HR, talking about HR tech, talking about the tech industry, and so there's a lot going on. There's been a lot of learning, inspiration, people that I'm waving at, that I know, so I'm here right now with Amy Tailby, and Amy and I actually spoke together last year at this event.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I don't remember the topic was, what was it? Total rewards?
Let's finally do total rewards right or something like that.
That's pretty good. I don't recall it all, but that actually was a really good time. I truly enjoyed that. But I just want to talk to Amy, obviously, about being here and trying to get her thoughts about what she sees as the top of mind issues, themes that are plaguing the tech industry right now going into 2024. So, Amy, thanks for being here. And did you want to just sort of tell us a bit about what you do, in a nutshell?
So, I call myself a total rewards expert or weirdo. Sometimes the total rewards fairy. All things compensation, benefits, mobility, international employment.
Oh.
That's my jam.
And you're based in Calgary?
No, I am based in Waterloo, Ontario.
I think I knew that. No. Waterloo. Okay.
Calgary is a lovely city, though.
Have you ever been there?
I have been a number of times.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So not from Calgary. She's from Waterloo, not Kitchener, Waterloo. And so, Amy, so obviously we have, been going through a tough path for a couple of years, obviously. I think that's a bit of an understatement. And I can see us kind of coming out of that now. So what are your thoughts about the future of HR?
A lot is changing. Nothing can be taken for granted anymore. And a lot of people are tired. Both the people that we're supporting and HR itself. We're exhausted, especially in tech. It's hard to keep up with the pace. And nobody has the answers right now for how do you fully recover from burnout.
Yeah. That. I mean, we could go on for hours, on that topic of burnout and, mental health and so on. I think everybody has been sort of impacted by that, myself included, or know someone who has been impacted by that as well. And I think everybody could probably say that, they have. So, I mean, how does one even start to even navigate that? I mean, what? And you're right. I mean, I did a workshop about 2 years ago with a bunch of HR practitioners here in Toronto, leaders, practitioners in the tech space, and we were talking about, honestly, it was about how we navigate pricing. But what ended up happening was, and it ended up being an opportunity for the group to talk about how they're feeling. So we actually pivoted the entire thing right then and there because I realized that all these people were all exhausted. And they were the ones being thrown into the limelight in terms of, hey, CHRO, hey, director of HR, can you please help us figure out how to navigate all this? For our organization, meanwhile, CHRO, director of HR are also trying to deal with the exact same problem.
Yep.
So how does one even start to navigate this?
I mean, how do you tackle any new HR challenge? You start by saying, okay, we have a problem. Be open and honest of what's the problem. We're burnt, we're tired, and start to have those open conversations and be vulnerable to the conversation around, okay, what's causing this? Why are we burning out? Are we failing to prioritize? Are we failing to stop jumping just on the thing of the moment and stick to what we said the strategy is. Do we have a roadmap for where we're going? So I know sometimes in roles that I've been, we couldn't stop the madness because we hadn't given the CEO a roadmap for where we needed to go. So we need to carve out the space to say, where do we need to go? But it's start with, okay, we have a problem, acknowledge it. We want to do something about it and pick somewhere to start, anywhere. It's never going to be perfect, but you got to start.
And that's a good point. I mean, are you seeing this overarching trend of burnout, the exhaustion changing for the better? I mean, as we get into a new year, I mean, a lot of people tend to be very optimistic about going into a brand new year. And I'm just wondering if you've seen things like...
I wish I could be optimistic. I think it's really uncertain right now because at the same time that tech companies and HR people are realizing we have this problem, saying we've got to do something about it. Brand new tragedies are landing in our lap, like what's happening in Israel right now. That's affecting so many of our people. And at the same time, you've got VCs turning up the heat on, you got to get profitable. And so CEOs and heads of HR are caught in this no-win situation. I have a problem, but I'm not being given the space to fix it. So I think that fundamental executive leader conversation has to change about this is a significant risk to the future of our business. We have to head on deal with it. We have to make it a priority, just like having a product roadmap, having a budget and sticking to it, having a path to profitability for our investors.
It's what you're saying is, I mean, obviously, like an HR strategy need to be fully, the mental health and well-being of our employees need to be, a massive part of that, obviously, going forward. And I think, obviously, in the tech industry, in my experience, a lot of tech companies don't even have an HR strategy to start with. So I think that probably, there's both a negative and a positive. The positive is that you're starting from a square one, so there's an opportunity here. So, so you were leading a panel conversation here at the Tech Talent North Conference. Maybe you want to talk to us about that.
So I was fortunate to host one on pay transparency.
Oh,
it's a
cool.
growing topic. Legislation has started up both in Canada and the US. And typically once that starts, eventually it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
And so companies are freaking out about, oh, geez, we got to meet this thing. But also raising that question of, how far do we go with it? And just like the burnout thing, where on earth do we start? We know we have a mess. We've got some things that we don't entirely want to own up to. So how do we even get started? And so that was what we tried to get to a bit in the panel, is some actionable items for, start with the why, really understand where you want to get to, why you want to do it, and come up with that plan, have those open and honest discussions. So cool. Wish we had had more time to talk about it.
I'm sure, just like every other conference session, there's always more time. But I just want to thank you, Amy, for talking to me, and I wish you, a fantastic rest of the conference, and fist bump always. Thank you. And so, for all of you here, I'll post all of the link of how you can contact Amy, so she'll get a massive spike in viewership.
Audio Jungle.